Hi, I'm Don from Don Drones On. If you're new to drones, or maybe you're just considering getting one, it's important to understand the rules and regulations that apply to you in Canada. This introductory video will explain the basics and where to find out more. Let's dive in. If you start searching YouTube for drone regulations or even Google Canadian drone rules, you will very likely encounter dozens of my videos. I've provided free training material to tens of thousands of drone pilots over the years. Why? Because I don't think you should have to pay to have fun in this hobby. I try my best to explain the rules and the aviation knowledge you need to know in an easy to digest fashion. I also keep the community abreast of upcoming changes to the rules or hot drone topics. So you may want to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. You may also want to join the free Drone Pilot Association of Canada, or DPAC, which I helped found in 2022. We have a website with great resources, a quarterly newsletter, and there's a Facebook page for asking questions and learning more. I guess my point is, you've come to the right place. You can trust the information I share, and you're not alone. There's a wonderful, friendly community out there. So what do you have to know to safely and legally fly a drone in Canada? Well, that's actually a very tough question, hence the dozens of videos. But I'll try to keep it simple in this one. Let's start with the weight of the drone. If your drone is under 250 grams, such as one of the DJI mini drones or the Neo 2, then there are only a few crucial rules you need to know. The most important one is what I call the don't do anything stupid rule. It basically says you cannot fly recklessly, endangering manned aircraft or people on the ground. You also need to stay out of emergency areas, such as a perimeter set up around a major accident or natural disaster. You need to stay 9.3 kilometers, that's 5 nautical miles, away from any wildfire. And you have to stay out of temporary no-fly zones, the ones that get set up with special notifications called NOTAMs. You'll see these temporary no-fly zones pop up around major sporting events, for example. There are also a number of restricted areas across the country that you must always stay away from. Places like Parliament Hill, Niagara Falls, most prisons, and nuclear power stations. These fundamental restrictions apply to drones of all sizes, even those under 250 grams. And frankly, knowing where these restricted areas are can be tricky. There are a couple of free resources available that can help, specifically the NavDrone app and the NRC Drone Site Selection Tool website. But the simplest and most comprehensive tool is my own Drone Pilot Canada app. It's available for a one-time fee on both Apple and Android devices. Optional, but great. One final word about drones under 250 grams, and again, this actually applies to all drones. If you're flying at what Transport Canada calls an advertised event, you need to apply for a permit called an SFOC, Special Flight Operations Certificate. An advertised event is any publicly advertised group of people, such as a sporting event, an outdoor concert, maybe a market, a parade, or a celebration. Even a high school football game qualifies as an advertised event. An SFOC must be applied for well in advance of the event and must include an invitation from the event organizer. The alternative is to simply keep your drone at least 30 meters away from the event. And I repeat, this applies even to sub 250 gram drones. Now, on the good side, you do not need to register a drone under 250 grams, and you don't need a drone pilot certificate to fly it. Just follow the simple rules that I just stated, don't do anything stupid, and respect the people around you. Don't bug people or invade anyone's privacy. You'll have a lot of fun and won't run into any trouble. Now, if your drone is over 250 grams, things get quite a bit more complicated really fast. First of all, you need to register your drone with Transport Canada. That's not hard. Just go to the TC Drone Safety website and register. It's about $10. Write your registration number on your drone with a Sharpie or make a label. No big deal. Next, you must have a drone pilot certificate. Now, Transport Canada calls drones as well as remote control aircraft RPAS, so you'll see that term associated with these pilot certificates. There are 3 tiers of pilot certificates at this time: basic, advanced, and level 1 complex. You need a higher level certification to fly riskier operations, such as flying near people or airports. I've got videos explaining all of this in more detail, but here's the scoop for the basic RPAS pilot certification, the minimum you need if your drone is over 250 grams. All you need to do is pass an online, open book, multiple choice exam. You need to be at least 14 years old, and it costs $10 per attempt. Now, this exam is not rocket science, but you need to understand that the questions often have nothing to do with flying your drone, and that can be a big surprise. You'll need to know or be able to quickly search for obscure weather terminology, know weird parts of aircraft and helicopters, like what the collective control does, and how to read aeronautical documents such as CFS listings. You could easily be rattled if you aren't prepared for these kinds of questions, so I have a basic study guide video to help you get started. Okay, so you've registered your drone and passed your drone pilot certification exam and you're ready to go. Fantastic. Now, where do you fly? There are a billion rules about that, but the main things to know are actually pretty simple for what they call basic operations. Number 1, you need to keep your drone within visual line of sight at all times. You need to be able to see it with your own eyes or with the help of a spotter. This way you won't have your head buried in your display screen and miss the small plane that's approaching or the hydro lines right behind your drone. Stay within visual line of sight. Number 2, you can't fly near airports, heliports, or in the very, very large areas around major airports called controlled airspace. Now, I could rhyme off the various distances and stuff, but there are so many special cases, and there are the other restricted zones that I mentioned, so you really must check an online tool. As I mentioned earlier, the NavDrone app and the NRC Drone Site Selection Tool website are 2 free resources, or there is my easy-to-use Drone Pilot Canada app. But check one of these tools before you fly, so you'll know if your location is okay or not, at least from an airspace perspective. If you're in a red zone, don't fly there. You need to stay at least 30 meters, about 100 feet, away from bystanders, and you can't fly over people. Now, if you're with a bunch of friends and they're okay with you flying near them, you're fine, as long as you don't do anything stupid. But otherwise, stay away from people not involved with your flight. Number 4, you can't fly in a lot of municipal, provincial, or national parks. For these, check in advance. Most do not allow recreational droning, even for sub-250 gram drones. Number 5, you must stay under 122 meters, which is about 400 feet, above ground level. And that's the drone's altitude above the ground at that point, which isn't necessarily what your controller says is your altitude. The rest of the rules are pretty sensible for the most part. You can't fly when you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. 12 hours is the limit when drinking. You must stay out of the way of manned aircraft and away from places where aircraft might be flying, like around accidents or wildfires. Stay away. And if a plane or helicopter does happen to appear in the area you're flying, land your drone immediately. You're supposed to do what is called a site survey before you fly, so you're familiar with the airspace, with hazards in the area, and who to call in the event of a problem. And you should be sure that the weather will be okay for the duration of your flight. Again, the Drone Pilot Canada app will help you with this stuff, with built-in checklists, weather information, and emergency phone numbers. If you're flying with FPV goggles, you need a spotter. And while these aren't strictly drone rules, you should keep them in mind as well. Don't land or take off from someone else's property. That's trespassing. And respect people's privacy. Well, there you go. Enough to get you started with your new drone in Canada. If it's a drone under 250 grams, just don't do anything stupid. If it's over 250 grams, register your drone, get at least your basic pilot certificate, fly within visual line of sight, stay away from airports and controlled airspace, stay 30 meters away from bystanders and advertised events, and above all, don't fly recklessly. But most importantly, have fun with this incredibly safe hobby. I have a free downloadable training roadmap to help navigate my many videos and study guides. There's a link in the description below. There are also links to the Transport Canada website, the Drone Pilot Association of Canada, and other key resources. Safe and happy flying.